Sorry that was so loud and rude. I just got home from a beautiful session, really fun session, get to hang with some old friends. Oh man, good to see everybody, even though I'm not really seeing you. But are we gonna have to deal with this squeaky chair again? Okay, let's get rid of this thing. That chair is about to go, I'm telling you. But yeah, got to work with some great old friends today. Paulie Franklin on the pedal steel, Glenn Wharf on the bass, Freddie Eltringham on the drums, Brian Sutton on the acoustic, Mike Rojas on the piano. You guys know Mike Rojas? God, he is a beast keyboard player. Lord Jesus. We were working for a gal named Jenna LeMaster, who's a fine country western singer, and we had Drew Bowman behind the console, running the PA, as I say. Really fun. But this is some pretty grown-up shit today, you know, like every once in a while you get into a session where it's like, all right, this is pretty adult. You better be on your toes here. This is not just your usual bunch of knucklehead kids bashing around. It's like, when you get on sessions like that with guys that are that good, it's like the level of listening is just through the roof, man. It's like, it's really hard to explain to anybody that hasn't done something like that. I've tried to talk about this before in the past. Those who have been long-time homeschoolers have heard me talk about the listening that's involved, you know. Every little thing you do when you're playing with a group that listens that hard matters. Every little note you play, every little rhythmic thing you do is somebody picks up on it. And so I always say it's like birds flying information. I've said that before. And you better be careful what you do, you know. It's not like you have to play real safe or anything, but you just have to have a lot of taste. You can't throw too much paint. You see, you got to let everybody have their space in their room, you know. You got guys that play that good, you know. There's little fills coming out of everywhere, and you got to just sort of instinctually know where they're going to be and know when to step up when it's your turn to play, you know. It's an unspoken language. I don't really think there's any way to learn it unless you just do it and do it and do it. I don't think you could teach that, like when to play, when not to play, when you're playing with a group that's interacting like that, you know? It's pretty weird. I often wonder how I even learned it. I suppose I learned it just from years of doing the wrong thing, you know? Go to play a fill and there's already somebody doing one there. and you're just like, I suck. Or you don't play a fill where somebody was expecting you to play one, and you're like, that's even worse. Or you play too safe because you're scared to upset the group, but that sucks. You got to be able to have the confidence to take chances, but you got to be very tasteful. It's a cool job. I'm just happy to be there. But anyway, great to see those fellas. I don't really have much to talk about today. I saw in the news that Deanne Wilson canceled the back half of the tour this year because of cancer. She's been dealing with that for a while, and that's not going to stop her, man. She is just a trooper. One of the coolest people I've ever met in my life. Anne is, as I've said before on this channel, just an awesome person. She's very, very, very cool. I wish her the best. I know she's going to be great. I ain't scared about her. She's tough. Got this old chunk of hollow spruce from the golden age of Kalamazoo out, man. And this guitar smells good. Man, that's a good one. Sounds good too. Very aggressive. George Gruen has a bit of a fascination with these 50s hollow body double necks. He always says that they're the most unique sounding Gibson electrics of all time. And I see what he means. There's nothing that sounds like these, because nothing else has a carved spruce top with the PAFs and the whole bit. It's unique, even for Gibson, and they're very cool. I saw Joe Bonamassa playing one in a recent video. He had a slightly different variant of this, but there's less than 100 of these guitars of any variant ever made. I mean, these things are fucking rare, man. And this is actually the second one I've owned. I owned one years ago that was a 612 EDS 1275. This is called an EMS 1235. But every piece on this guitar is custom. I mean, look at how thick that piece of binding is between the two necks. There's not a part on here you could use for any other guitar. It's I mean, the metal, it's like, it's all unique to this instrument. But it's just, these are just the coolest guitars, man. They're sort of sleepers too. Like, a lot of people don't even know what these are, But I just love this thing. It's a fucking cool guitar. I had Andy Jellison refret this a while back, and he just did a beautiful job, man. Can't tell you how good this thing plays. Yeah, so let's see. I've seen a lot of comments that were very positive about the video I did where I evaluated the guys playing, and I think it'll be fun to continue that series. Do occasionally do one of those. It's fun, There was also people that said that the price was too steep for $500, and man, there's a lot of people that agree that that's cool and everything, but honestly, I'm not trying to gouge anybody. It doesn't make sense for me to do it for any less than that. I mean, it takes a lot of time to put that together, and my time is so spoken for every day that, like, I just don't. It doesn't make any sense. Like, if I'm gonna do something like that, that's what I gotta have, and it's like, I'm not trying to be a tough guy or be too, price myself out of the market, but, like, that's just what it's got to be. And a lot of you guys understand that out there, but there's probably some that don't. And, it's just economics, man. I mean, it just all depends on where you're at in life and what you need out of life, And I do wish that I can get to a point where I could teach some private lessons. I think that's probably in my future, I would think. if I could find the time to do that, I would like to do that. You know, sit with somebody for an hour and be able to give some hands-on instruction about what's going on. I think I would enjoy that. You know, as long as the person fucking practiced what I showed them. I used to teach guitar lessons when I was 19 years old. And even back then, it would piss me off when I would show somebody something and the next week they came back and they didn't practice it. I always say the drive to be a great player is so much more than the talent. I mean, I've said this a million times. You guys are sick of hearing me say this. You know, if you don't want it, what the fuck are you even doing? It's like, if you're just happy plunking around, playing a few chords after work at night, that's all great. But I'm talking about people that are taking this shit seriously. If somebody shows you something, you should practice it. I'm just saying. And don't just practice what they showed you. Take the concept of what they showed you and explore your own thing with it. That's what my 11-year-old son does, man. He's just born with that. I'll show him a lick, you know, of a song, and he won't just sit and play that lick over and over. He'll go goof around with it and come up with a bunch of other licks that are sort of based on it, make up little riffs and stuff. It's like he's already got that. I suppose that's probably what I did, although I don't remember doing it like he did. But, you know, learning a lick is just step one. Then you got to figure out how to apply it in a bunch of different ways, you know? You know, knowing how to practice and not waste a bunch of time working on a bunch of needless bullshit is probably an art form in itself, you know? Like I said to that guy in that video, you know, always be in song mode. Always be playing something that's like a song or something that could be a groove that can be taken, you know, and somebody could, you know, move their body to, you know. Like you can always tell, like I said in that video, like people that sound like they're trying out a guitar when they play. They never play anything that's committed to any groove. They just play a series of licks and then a couple chords and it's all stop start. I don't really like that. I don't like playing like that ever. I never did like playing like that. I was chatting with Bubba on the phone today, my mentor, my guru. I call him all the time on the way into work. You know, we have these morning chats. He's just a lovely guy. I just love him so much. He's actually coming down in August for the Guthrie gigs, and I'm super excited about that. Get to see him for the first time in a long time. We were talking about, you know, how hard it is for a guitar player to entertain a bunch of people that don't play music while just sitting and playing the guitar, you know? Like if you sing a song, that's one thing, and you accompany yourself. But if you can't sing and you're just sitting there with a guitar and somebody says, "Yeah, play a song, or play something for us," you know, there's a bunch of people sitting, what are you gonna play? You know, I struggled with that when I was a kid. I never wanted to, I always wanted to be able to play by myself in a way that could entertain people, right? And I think that's probably where all this thumb bass stuff came from and like self-accompanying thing, because I always wanted to find a way to make it sound full, you know, and not just like you're playing up high and there's no bottom, or, you know. So that's where I think that all came from, and probably because I'm just a frustrated, terrible singer, you know. But it's pretty hard to play an instrument like guitar and make it sound like a song, you know, by yourself. A little easier on piano, really hard on a bass. Imagine sitting there when you're a bass player and someone says, "Here, play a song." Just you. It's not gonna be easy. Drummers, same boat, unless you can play like Buddy Rich and blow everybody's mind. That's what we were talking about today, me and Bub, and we were laughing about that. But when you can sing a song, it's easy. All you gotta do is plunk a few cowboy chords and everybody thinks you're great. But that's it. And then I also wanted to say one thing, like, one guy said, "Man, you're talking about how Caucasian people rush and everything." He's like, "What about all this great, you know, 70s, you know, Southern soul. Dude, believe me, I get that. What I said was that Caucasian people are born with a proclivity to rush, and you have to sort of force it out of yourself, beat it out of yourself. And like, yes, I'm not saying that all Caucasian people rush when they play. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you have to work a little harder to beat it out of yourself. That's what I meant by what I said. But everything I say gets taken out of context. You know how it is. The Uncle Larry thing, then they get on a gear page and they start talking about it, taking everything out of context. What's a lick I could show you that something you can work on? Oh, let's see. Let's see here. Let me think. This amp's warming up real quick here. Remember I showed you this lick a long time ago. This is from my old friend Smitty that I grew up with in Cleveland. We covered this a while back, but I want to show you again because it's so badass. And I didn't make this up. This is Smitty's idea. If you're watching the show, Smitty, I love you, man. This is a badass lick. But he was like a 5-note lick. He went. So you play the D on the G string on the 7th fret, and then you bend 6 up to 7. And then you flick it off and go to an unbent 5. Those 5 notes, right? D, C sharp, C, A, G. It's tricky, but you got to get it just right. Like he flicks it. Fun, right? Thank you, Smitty. That's a classic. Jan Hammer riff, right? All right, friends. Have a great night. I'll see you all later. Class dismissed.